It takes a village, because for all means for all. Together we'll break down any wall. Linked in love, we won't disarm. We're uniting the grassroots army strong. So press play, feel the spark. This is where the movement starts. It takes a village and we're the proof. Truth in action, raising the roof. It takes a village. It takes a village. We rise together, louder than fear. One voice, one fire, crystal clear. From every banner, every street, unity moves on dancing feet. We rise together, we're strong. A million hearts singing one song.
Folks, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to It Takes a Village, where we amplify people building power from the ground up. I'm your charming and furious host, Political Jess, and let's be clear, I'm not going anywhere. Okay? Not today, not tomorrow, not until the grassroots win, and even then, who knows? So let's set up some ground rules because chaos is super overrated. You will get one question and one follow-up. If you decide that you want to come up here and talk to Karishma, you are more than welcome to. 18 plus only, because minor safety matters. Keep it current, keep it respectful. This is not a debate stage. Trolls, hecklers, and bad faith actors shall be ejected immediately. No refunds, no regrets. While you are here, please tap up that screen like it owes you money and share out the live. Tap that boost. Every tap boosts us to the FYP, gets more people into this room, more eyes on this incredible candidate who is running to work for all of us. And just a quick PSA.
Am I supposed to do something also then? What live button did you just talk about?
Oh, there's a button at the top that has a little arrow that like, kind of like it goes over, and if you click on it, you can send out your live to everybody on your contact list. I know. It's okay. It's okay. TikTok is
You're just supposed to sit back, relax.
Okay, just sit back and relax. We've got you. It's totally fine. Just to let you guys know, we have some fan perks. We've got some goodies. We've got stickers, exclusive polls and threads. There may even be a custom sticker in there for our next guest. And TikTok does have a little cute thingy that they do where if you leave little buttons and little flowers to Karishma, they just like to take a big old chunk out of that cheese before you do that. So though we love that energy, we love all of the cute little things that TikTok gives us, we will drop Karishma's direct donation information right here so that you are able to donate directly to her campaign and do some good. Okay? Now, before we get started, we're going to welcome, actually, we're going to go ahead and get started. Straight from the great state of New Hampshire, woo, running for Senate. Here to shake things up in the most wonderful way and flip tables over. Please give a warm village welcome to Karishma Manzur. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
So there's two questions that I ask before we get started, before we start bringing people up on the panel. There's always two questions that I ask. And the first one, you've heard of the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? We are not being hit with straws. We are being hit with the whole damn camel constantly in the face, repeatedly. It's very uncomfortable. Can you tell us what the camel was that broke your back, that inspired you to run? And a little bit about the people of New Hampshire that you wish to represent.
Okay. So I don't know if folks know this, but I'm a scientist. I've worked in clinical research for 20 years, and mostly in neurological diseases and specifically epilepsy and depression. I loved my job. Absolutely loved my job. But several years ago, I came to the realization that many of the treatments I was working on will never be accessible to millions of Americans. Because one, they don't have health insurance, or because of underinsurance. In the richest country in the world, how can we have this severe crisis? So that's when I started to get a little bit more involved in like political advocacy and trying to work on Medicare for all and trying to get our two wonderful senators and our two wonderful representatives to actually co-sponsor this wonderful piece of legislation. So that was when the transition happened. And then years of frustration later, I was like, you know what? It's not enough to support any Democrat. We have to support the right Democrat. And that Democrat, it would have been great if somebody else had stepped up, but nobody else was stepping up. So I gave up my career. I put my family life on hold. We eat out of cartons now, Chinese food. And that's actually a good day if I get at least store-bought Chinese. But yeah, and here we are.
Amazing.
And what was the second part? I'm sorry. Oh, who I want to represent?
Yes. Tell me about the people of New Hampshire that you wish to represent.
Everyone, every single person. If you have a good piece of legislation that's going to improve people's lives, everyone should care. So whether it's healthcare at the moment, the fact that 20 million Americans just lost health insurance because of the cuts in ACA subsidies, who will this impact? Everyone. It'll be Republicans, Democrats, independents, brown, white, it doesn't matter. Everyone will be affected. So Medicare for all needs to pass immediately. It should have passed a generation ago. Universal healthcare is absolutely important and essential. The other things that I care about are livable wages. No one should work full time and not be able to afford food, housing, and healthcare. Bare minimum, friends, bare minimum. In the richest country in the world, why are people working full time and still can't afford food or housing or healthcare?
Yeah.
And so I want to represent everyone. Now, who will support me? It might be a little different question, but from my perspective, anyone and everyone. And when I go out there, I'm not asking for people where they stand or who they voted for or what they believe in. I am presenting what I care about and what I think will improve their lives. And then we have healthy discussions. So.
Yeah, I think that's really important, the whole discussion thing. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to talk to people who have, that are on the other side of the aisle from you. But we'll get into that. I want to ask you the second question, and this one is really important, and I would really encourage you to be as candid and honest as possible. Okay.
Always.
Many voters, especially young, working class, and marginalized communities, feel betrayed by candidates who run on these bold, progressive platforms, but quickly compromise or abandon those values once they're elected. So if you win this seat, and you will win this seat because we manifest that shit around here, okay? If you win this seat, how will you ensure that your actions match your promises, especially when pressured by party leadership, corporate donors, or political expediency? What is your plan to stay rooted in the grassroots movements that got you here?
So I don't know if you know this, but I'm on the board of an organization called Open Democracy Action. It was an organization started by a very famous person named Granny Haddock, who was originally from New Hampshire. And at age 89, she walked all the way from California to Washington, D.C. to advocate to get big money out of politics. And this was even before the Citizens United case passed.
Right.
So I'm on the board of an organization that's trying to get big money out of politics. And I've been working on this for a while. So there's no way for me to take big money, right? It just doesn't make sense. This is exactly what we're fighting against. I know I'm not supposed to bring up religion, but I fear God and I fear afterlife and I don't want to burn in hell. So yes, I'm not going to sacrifice the afterlife by taking any kind of bribes or other type of dirty money. And what do you do? I mean, what is the purpose of public service, Jess? We have moved so far away from what public service was meant to be. Like, why don't we have term limits? Because you were not supposed to be there for years in Congress. You were just supposed to go in, serve your community, go back to your business, go back to your farm, and that's it, right? Here, they go in, these senators and representatives are elected to Congress, and they do not give up their seats. Why? Because it's not for that $180,000 that they make per year. They make millions of dollars for themselves, their spouses, their donors, whoever else. And then they're there for years. And then when they're about to leave or retire or die, they pass it on to their children. It's not an heirloom. This is supposed to belong to the people. The people get to decide who the next person will be. Not, the senator that's resigning or is dying or the representative. It should be public service. You go there, you get your 175,000, 180,000. You don't wine and dine with the donors. You live a modest life in Washington, D.C. You have a small apartment. You don't get fancy clothes. Like this, I have 2 jackets, okay? A blue one and a black one. Purchased off the rack. These are not tailor-made or anything. It was actually also on sale. Perfect. And I have 2 white shirts. That's it. I mean, seriously, I just have to hand wash my blouses every so often. That's it. This is what public service is supposed to be about. It's not some fancy clothes and whatever else. That's what we should be looking for. I mean, it's become like a reality show or some designer stuff. You're there because people are suffering. Right here in New Hampshire, people can't even afford to buy a house or even rent an apartment. In my small town of Exeter, there are people who sleep in their cars, Jess. Some of them have jobs and they cannot afford an apartment. Think about that. Think what we have done to these people. What kind of a society we've created. So going back, this is not a vanity project. I'm not doing this to cheat people or to lie to people or to enrich myself. I really tried to stay within the system for several years. I tried to advocate for Medicare for all, for livable wages. I tried to advocate to my 2 senators and my 2 representatives. They don't care. They don't listen. That is why I'm running. And that's why my poor children, I don't have time to pick them up or drop them off. You have to actually thank my husband, because this was not going to be possible without a very, very supportive partner who actually also every so often hands me a cup of coffee. So you might see a cup of coffee coming in later, but anyways, yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Jess, I just want to let you know I've met her husband and her son at a rally, and they're adorable.
Are they really?
They are so adorable. I'm just going to let you know they're adorable. And your husband is very, very nice.
He's a sweetheart. I mean, seriously, it takes a lot. I mean, it's a whole family is involved, right? It's a 7-day job now, and it's 12, 14 hours. And the good part is folks like you, like saying nice things or coming out and supportive, but there's a lot of hate out there as well, especially X. Oh God, X, my God. I wish I could keep that account.
It's X is like the 10th ring of hell. Let's be honest.
It really is.
And then I thought TikTok and Instagram were kind of like a friendly crowd, but somehow I must have pressed some wrong buttons with Venezuela, and suddenly I get all these hate messages. And then I actually said to someone, "Do you kiss your mother with that mouth? I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, the things you're saying to me, like, is this acceptable? I'm just a regular human being. No one's paying me to do this.
Yeah.
I'm sacrificing my family time, my sanity to do this. Why would I do this for years? You're just sitting there pulling your hair out or losing sleep and going, how can this be? How can we have so much craziness in this world? Simple thing is, we live in the richest country in the world. Why don't people have health care? Why don't people have livable wages?
I have a question about that.
Go for it.
Happy.
And I'm going to try to keep.
What
you
is
can
it?
drop me. You can drop me down right after this, Jess. It's fine. I want, but I just have a question in reference to that specifically, because you keep saying that we live in the richest country in the world, and that to me is now becoming quite debatable, being that we're getting ripped off at every single corner that we can possibly think of. So for me, that's debatable now. The other thing too is that now that they are, they've approved the subsidies in the House, and now they're going to the Senate. What do you think is the likelihood of them approving it? And the only reason that even happened, and we all already know, is, and I'll try to keep my my words as censored as possible because I have a potty mouth.
Yes.
Very, very, very
Me
big
too.
potty mouth because I'm super pissed off about everything that's happening. And now that I'm in my golden years, I have decided that I don't give a what I say. I just say it. So if I drop an F-bomb, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend
Go
you,
for it.
but
Yeah.
I cannot censor anymore. I've already censored enough. But now in my opinion, the only reason that the House passed this is because they're up for re-election and they already know that they're not going to be able to run on the things that they wanted to run on because the people know that now that they are not able to have, and it's because of the fact that they supported the big, beautiful, belligerent bill. What is the likelihood of that actually passing in the Senate the way that it passed in the House? And then if it does pass in the Senate and it gets to the orange orangutan's desk and he vetoes it, what kind of things would you do to try to make sure that we can get this across the finish line?
Okay, so the first part of the question, if you look at folks on the ground, you're right. It doesn't feel like we live in the richest country in the world. And absolutely. But that has to do with the wealth transfer, right? Over the last few decades, we've not only created 900 billionaires. Apologies. Over 900 billionaires. We've also created folks who are barely surviving. And to just give you an idea about how difficult it is, a poor American lives 10 to 15 years less than a rich American. The life expectancy in this country is tied to your wealth. And why is that? Because if you don't have access to primary care, then you're not catching a disease process early on where you can actually treat it. Or even if you're getting a chance to see a physician, you cannot afford the drugs. Or maybe you can afford the drugs, but you can't afford the surgery or the cancer treatment. So people are dying. It is the richest country in the world because as far as the GDP is concerned, as the amount of money that's in the Wall Street and the stock prices, it actually is the richest country. It's just the wealth is accumulated to a very few people. Over 900 people are billionaires. It's impossible to understand how that can be. The second part is I'm not big into hypotheticals, but I'm not sure if it'll pass the Senate. But if the reason that you just said for the House, that they're afraid of the midterm, potentially then, right? I don't know if the senators will potentially, but let's see how our two senators also vote because Jean Shaheen and Maggie Hassan have been a little bit wishy-washy on their politics.
A little.
And then, I don't know, that orange guy, how do you want me to predict what he's going to do?
Oh, he's vetoing it. We already know he's going to say we're not doing this. He 100%. We already know that that's what he's going to do because, and you know, it's so funny. One of my favorite creators had said, you know, if we just called it the Trump care instead of the Obama care, he'd pass it in 2 seconds because he's a narcissistic son of a bitch. But nobody's going to do that. So he's definitely going to veto it just because of the fact that Obama had actually passed it and was successful in doing it. So at this point, for me, in my eyes, most likely, even if it did by some miraculous, you know, miracle, it actually passed the Senate and it got to the orange orangutan's desk, he would veto it. And then my question there at that point is, what is it that the American people can do, or just vote at the end of the one for the time that, you know, midterms come? Because we're at the verge of actually coming into another shutdown, another government shutdown here in just a few days. In just a couple of weeks, we're about to be in the same situation that we were in back in October because they're going to have to vote again. And I don't know if the Dems are actually going to hold their ground this time, or if, you know, there's going to be some more sellouts when it comes to the Democratic Party. I have no idea. Now they've proven that they're just a bunch of liars and they're not going to do what it is that they promised to do. So we're back. It's just a never ending cycle. And I'm just wondering how it is that we can try to get out of that cycle separate from the midterms.
Because they both serve the same donors, don't they? Too many. And so at the end of the day, the healthcare industry is thriving. I mean, just to begin with, the whole system is wrong. So when we are talking about maybe ACA subsidies or Medicaid expansion, those are fine and ideas, but these are Band-Aids, right? We're talking about still millions of people who are not going to benefit at all. And of course, millions more will suffer, but millions are already not even part of the equation.
Right.
So let's talk about it, because you did bring up healthcare. This is how I try to actually talk about healthcare a little bit, because for generations, we're like living in this crazy situation. So we don't even understand what is another option. So stepping back a little bit, we are the only developed nation in the world that does not provide universal health coverage. Okay, so why? How is that even possible? Because there's so much money to be made from the current system. The for-profit health insurance industry should not even exist. There should not be for-profit health insurance. Health insurance, the whole healthcare should be a public good, like fire service or police service. It should be there when you need it, and that's it. We have created this whole business model, and we do this in many other situations, but with healthcare, because this is actually directly impacting people's lives on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We have created a system where people are making so much money. So when I was working on the platform, I was trying to talk to people who were directly impacted by the current system. And I was talking to this one person, and she said her loved one had cancer. And she even had health insurance. But the health insurance company denied her care, even though her oncologist and her primary care prescribed this treatment. The health insurance company said, no, you're too advanced, we're going to deny the care. She died. That same year, the CEO of that health insurance company made $15 million. That's what denying means. Denying means there's more money for shareholders, for CEOs, for Wall Street. And those people are donating to our representatives, our senators, and other politicians. So this system is so lucrative for so many people. It's blood money.
No, I agree with you. I have my sister-in-law, actually, she passed away because her insurance ended up, she was past the $1 million. She was very, very sick, and she ended up passing away, but it capped out at $1 million. And they're not going to pay after that. And her monthly expense for her medication was like $30,000 a month for her to have her medication. And when she had tapped out, she literally was on her deathbed and she ended up passing. But we were prepared, because we were prepared to take care of our loved one. We were prepared to sell our home. We were prepared to go ahead and take on extra jobs just so that we could get her medication, which tell me why a medication costs $30,000 a month.
It shouldn't, when it costs 37 cents to make.
Right.
You know,
her medication was 30 grand a month.
Yes.
And she was tapped out at $1 million. We were going to have to sell our home. And she passed away before that, but we were fully prepared to do all of this. We were going to do whatever it took for her to get her medication, and however we could do it. But this is the America that we live in. So whenever I hear people say we're the richest country in America, no, we're not. No, we're not, because the wealth is unevenly distributed. There are so many people in poverty here in the U.S. So that whole message about how we're the richest company in the world, maybe the richest profitable companies, but people, they're not rich. People around here, unless you make 120,000 plus a year, you're not able to live in a comfortable situation and that's just, that used to be where, not even comfortable. That's just you're just kind of living at that point. Yeah, you can't even, how did we used to live back in the 1950s with one income and still own a house? Like, that's not even livable anymore.
And go on vacations and
all the time. Like, we are not the richest company in America. In the world. We're just not, because there are too many people living in poverty. Right now, the companies are the richest people in America, and we continue to enrich them because this whole thing is so unbalanced. And I'm not mad at you for saying that. I get what you're saying, that there's a lot of money in the US, but I'm pissed off that people keep like spinning this narrative that we're the richest, because we're not. because they're not for, the money is not being evenly distributed. We live in a monarchy, honestly, even though the dictator, the dictator up there is not, we're not in a true monarchy right now, but only the wealthiest and the most in the patriarchy are the ones that are getting everything, and we are left out, and they're pitting us against each other, and everyone is falling for it. Like, I don't understand.
So a couple of things, don't mind me. So you brought up several points, so let me see if I can address them. The fact that you said medication, whether it costs $30,000, et cetera, that's overpriced. So there's one problem. And so that's big pharma. The fact that we have a cap on someone's life of $1 million, that's another problem. The fact that a health insurance company is deciding whether to provide treatment or not, that's a problem. The decision to receive treatment should be, is a treatment available? Is the patient going to benefit from the treatment? And the healthcare provider prescribes the treatment. That's it. There should not be any other person making a decision in that. It should be the patient and their healthcare provider, and that's it. That's what needs to happen. And the other thing is, but I think I will actually fight back and say it is very important for us to constantly remind people that we are the richest country in the world. And that's why, but why are you not feeling it? Because of the wealth transfer. If people think I am suffering, but it's because there's not enough resources, right? Then you're not going to be able to ask for that change. You're not going to revolt against the system that is keeping you down. And so we need, because then you play into the narrative that we cannot afford universal health coverage, that we cannot afford to give people livable wages, that we cannot afford to fix our public education. It will always be, there's just not enough money. By saying it's the richest country in the world, you explain to people we have the money, except the money is being held in by a small group of people.
Well, it's not even just being held by us. It is being held by a certain amount of people, but we're also sending billions to other other countries.
Of course, 40 billion to Argentina. What was that about? Right.
Well, what about the 100 million that they're floating for Greenland per person?
Per person. Yeah. I don't understand it. I don't and the whole thing. I'll circle back on the healthcare thing because it really gets under my skin how our system is built to profit off of people's sickness. Like it's not a system that makes people better. Our healthcare system is not healthcare; it's sick care. It's built to make people sick. It's built to keep people sick so that you can stay on those medications that you need for your insulin. You can stay on that medication for your sleep apnea. You can stay on that medication for your high blood pressure because that medication costs money and pharmaceuticals they're raking in the dough by keeping people sick. Yeah. It's infuriating.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. That's what
I want to say.
I just wanted to make that.
And then to add one more point. Okay, first of all, I'm really sorry about your sister-in-law. I apologize. I mean, I really feel bad.
It was like 25 years ago. She died when she was 27. So
geez, I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I miss her every day.
But trying to put you guys into this system, to put the onus on the family that you have to now go into debt, it's crazy. But right now, as of this moment, you're an example of one family, but there are 500,000 households per year that declare bankruptcy because of either medical debt or dental debt. Dental debt is a thing.
Yes.
I mean, okay, so I had to have one tooth removed, and we have dental insurance. Okay, so partially it was covered, but to get an implant, it's like $8,000, and we have dental insurance.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't have $8,000. I mean, I'm not a poor person, poor candidate. So I was telling my friend, I was like, I have a missing tooth since I can't afford it. And he's like, he opened his mouth. He's like, I have 4 missing teeth. What are you talking about? Don't tell me about your 1 missing. Who are we as a country? We can't even afford implants. And then what did somebody else that was listening in? And they're like, just go to Brazil and just get it done for a fraction. It will, the whole trip will cost you less than $8,000. I'm like, okay.
Or Mexico. You could go to Mexico.
Yeah. I'll go to Mexico. Okay, that's even better.
My sister, she and her husband go down there to Mexico to get all of their dental work because it was going to cost him like $30,000 here, and he's paying like, I don't know, $7,000 over there. Yeah. Crazy.
It's crazy.
Imagine that craziness. We have to tell people what's going on, and we also have to tell people this is not normal.
No.
Don't just say you go to Mexico and you got the care. That is not, I mean, I'm happy that whoever did that, that's great. I mean, maybe I'll have to go to Mexico and get my implant. But it's not normal.
You shouldn't have to go to another country.
It's the richest country in the world.
Yeah. We shouldn't.
And somebody wrote dental insurance as a joke, and I agree.
It really is.
I don't know what I pay for.
I still have baby teeth. And
what?
I know, I still have baby teeth in the bottom, and I never got my wisdom teeth in. But if this baby tooth ever decides to out of my mouth and is just tired of me, they won't cover a new tooth. So like
I'm gonna be like kitty kitty
like such a cute little baby tooth. So funny. Yeah, definitely.
And the other day, a friend of mine, he got he's an elderly gentleman. He's on Medicare, and Medicare, my God, the poor people. When you're 70, 80 years old and you're fighting to figure out which drugs will be covered by which
Part B or
insurance.
Part C or
it's
Part
so
C.
complicated. It's Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D. Like you have to get a degree just to understand what the heck this is.
Right.
So the poor gentleman was looking for a dental insurance because he was having some tooth problems. So he gets insurance and he's fine. He's like, okay, thank God, this is a premium I can afford. And then he called them to because he needed one implant or something. And they said, oh no, we have to either remove all your teeth and give you a full implant because we cannot give you just one or two implants. What? What? He's like, what? Is this like bizarre world? Like what world am I living in? It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's just the whole world. I feel like I'm living in the effing twilight zone right now. I cannot.
Yeah.
It.
And here in New Hampshire and across the country, of course, but here in New Hampshire, we have a lot of folks who are receiving nutritional benefits, SNAP benefits, but there are a lot of people who actually qualify for SNAP, but they don't apply. And I've talked to some of these people. They said the amount of paperwork you have to do in order to get that SNAP benefit, sometimes it just doesn't feel worth it. And then there's the New Hampshire, I don't know if it's because of the state government or the federal government, this I don't know, but there's just like one small office that manages these applications. And they're of course understaffed, which means you're on hold or you're the blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then on top of it, they said, and whoever's staffing it is not very nice. They make us feel small.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to I would rather just eat that canned beans and not feel small about it. I mean, who have we become? We first keep people at low wages so that the billionaires can make more money. And I want to give you an example of what that means. And then when people need nutritional benefits and supplemental support, then we treat them poorly. I mean, I should say we, because it's a society, right? Jess, actually, we're getting carried away. Did you want to ask another question?
No, I think this is a really good discussion.
Okay.
But there will be another question that we talk about. But yes, this is.
But I want to say something. So during that government shutdown, what we were hearing was whether SNAP benefits were going to be on or off, right? Back and forth. Okay. But let's take a step back. Why are 42 million Americans food insecure? Why are 42 million Americans, 1 out of 6 Americans, food insecure in the richest country in the world?
Yeah.
And who are these people? Many of them have jobs, Jess. Many of them have jobs. But they work at Walmart and other places.
Yeah.
Their wages are so low that they actually qualify for support. And who's paying for that support? Well, it's the taxpayers. And who are the taxpayers? Mostly it's us, the middle class, or whatever you want to call us. Because I don't know about what middle class means in the United States anymore.
What is the middle class?
Middle class means you can't afford an implant. That's what it means now. But at least I have health insurance, so that's my middle class lifestyle. They receive so little money that they're qualifying for supplemental nutrition benefits from taxpayers. But that same company that they work for is making so much profit that, of course, their stock prices are going up. And people who, like Walmart is owned, the majority shareholders, the Walton family, they're billionaires.
Yeah, what's with
So
that?
in order for the billionaires to make more billions, the poorest of the folks are struggling, and the middle class is paying for the poorest of folks, whether it's putting money into the food banks or the soup kitchens or food pantries, or providing SNAP benefits. And so the whole system needs to be overhauled.
Yeah.
It's just an upside down world. Yeah. Okay, Jess, sorry. Go ahead. Go and ask me another question.
No, you're totally fine. Susu, thank you so much for popping up into the panel. I understand you're a New Hampshire resident, yes?
And that
Did you have a question for Karishma? Are you there?
sorry, I was having trouble getting my mic. I'm actually driving, so I'm being a bad girl.
Migrating. You're migrating. She's migrating. She's not driving.
Yeah,
She's
I'm migrating.
in her Uber. She's in her Uber, everybody. Yes. Okay. Fabulous. Awesome.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, I'm in Hudson.
Fabulous.
And I guess my question is, again, as I like to bring up when I'm on your panels, education.
Yes.
And following what's been happening in New Hampshire. It's a mess.
Oh, it's a mess.
I mean, they're doing all of these vouchers, and school systems are going under. Where is this going to leave the families that can't afford the private schools?
Yeah.
And my understanding is too, I've forgotten which town it was, is allowing people to come into their town by request to their school system, but then they're charging the other town money to do it.
I don't know.
And it just appalls me. And when I see what's happening with the Department of Education, by the way, I've been a special ed teacher for most of my adult life. I'm now retired, but just watching what's happening with that and how they're trying to basically, they're trying to get rid of having to pay for any special ed. And I'm wondering what your thoughts about education are.
Mm-hmm. First of all, I want to say thank you for being an educator. It is such a challenging career path. I mean, you are in charge of the next generation, and yet the way we treat educators is abysmal. It is extremely rude and unacceptable.
Yeah.
So this is one thing I want to say. So thank you. A teacher,
Thank you.
is a public servant. You are the type of folks that should be in Congress, not those business folks and not the lawyers. Enough with the lawyers going to Congress. Enough with this notion that we have that business people understand what politics should be, and therefore we should actually put them into power. The whole idea behind businesses, and there's nothing wrong with businesses. We need, I'm absolutely for businesses need to thrive. But the whole idea behind a business is that it's a for-profit, right? You have a product and you're selling it or however you're distributing it and to make a profit. That's fine. The United States government or a state or a local government is not supposed to be a for-profit institution. It's the opposite. It's supposed to be a public service position. So teacher, I forgot, is it Sue?
Susu.
Yeah.
Sue, you should run for something. Just run for it because right? We need people coming from police officers, firefighters, teachers, construction workers. Anyone and everyone should be considering running for office.
Yes.
Let's not make this like a billionaire class and a millionaire class thing. So that's one thing. Yes, what is happening in New Hampshire is terrible, Jess, and Sue articulated it. So public education has been under attack for several decades. This actually it actually has its roots in a different kind of problem. It's because of racism, actually. Because once the school system started to get integrated, people just didn't want that anymore. And we're talking about, of course, Brahmi education.
Yeah.
since then, there has been so much attack on public education. So this is one thing. The other is somebody wrote free staters. Yes, I don't want to even get into that, but that is a thing here in New Hampshire. These are folks who basically want to separate, I think, New Hampshire from the Union. I think they, so
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, they don't believe in taxes. They don't believe in it's like every man, woman, and child for themselves, like a hyper libertarian idea, like libertarian.
Live free or die.
I can't.
So would you say it that way? So would you say?
Yeah, I would say that's what I see happening. And
Yeah.
I'm honestly newish to New Hampshire. This is my 5th year being here. I come from Massachusetts, so it's been interesting for me to see the differences.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what is happening right now is the federal government, of course, is cutting funding. The state government, our state government has decided we don't have to pay income taxes. We don't have sales taxes. We're also cutting business and dividends tax. We are basically, I don't know how we're supposed to survive as a state government. I'm not even sure what they're thinking. So we are really struggling to survive here in New Hampshire. But towns still want to provide public education and fire services and police services. So what are they doing? Because there's no money coming back from the state or the federal government, or not adequate amounts. They're increasing property taxes to offset that kind of difference. Property taxes, we pay one of the highest property taxes in the country. So when people say, oh, New Hampshire, you guys are so great, you don't have to pay income tax, you don't have to pay sales tax, we actually pay way more in taxes compared to our neighbor, Massachusetts. So if you look at a family with, say, $150,000 income, living in a house of, say, whatever, $400,000 house, or a mortgage of with a mortgage, if you just compare apples to apples and try to figure out how much they are paying in taxes, someone in New Hampshire actually pays higher taxes than someone in Massachusetts because of the property taxes. It's crazy. And it's putting it's having a really bad impact on our elderly who are on fixed income. And of course, the folks who are making very little money. It's heartbreaking. Here in my town of Exeter, we have a lot of neighborhoods which are manufactured homes. And this goes into another topic, which is manufactured homes. That there's a lot of, it's really difficult because you own the structure, but you don't own the land.
Yeah.
You don't own the land. So you pay mortgage on your structure, then you pay rent on your land to whoever owns that area. Private equity is purchasing a lot of these areas, and then they say, oh, we're going to fix the roads, we're going to fix the plumbing, etc. Of course they don't, but then they increase the rent. Now, what are you going to do? You have the structure. What are you going to do? Pick it up and move to another private equity owned mobile park? No. Yeah. So I've talked to elderly people who thought they were purchasing a structure that they would be able to afford on their limited pension, limited Social Security, and not have to work. The property taxes are killing them. The high rents are hurting them. And now, because of cuts to other types of programs, it's taking even more money out of their very limited income. It's heartbreaking, Jazz. I mean, I don't know how I sleep. I think I sleep out of exhaustion. I collapse. Because it's like you feel so bad. Like you really feel bad. Like if a 76-year-old person tells you, I'm one payment away from homelessness.
That's so many people, though. That's literally so many people right now.
Yeah.
Isn't there something in New Hampshire, and this wouldn't work for the people paying rent on their land, but isn't there, when somebody is, I think it's when they're in their 80s, they can get a break from their taxes, or is that town based on town?
I don't know if there's such a standard, but I know that in my town, there is a provision, and I maybe it's all towns have it. If you are unable to make that increased payment on property taxes, you can go back to the town and have them reassess. So what's happening is, so say they bought that $150,000 structure and they thought, this is my mortgage on this structure, I can afford it. And this is going to be the property taxes on my structure, I can afford it. But now, because the housing crisis, housing prices have gone up. So a town is saying, oh, wait, your structure is no longer 150,000, it's actually 400,000. And therefore, we're going to recalculate your property tax, which is already going up, based on this $400,000 assessment. Then the town is telling people, if you are unable to pay property taxes because of hardship, come to us and we will readjust it. But that 76-year-old person told me they have gone to the town and have asked for readjustment, and they have not received any kind of readjustment. So maybe it.
Oh wow!
Because of,
my uncle lived in Epping and had his little piece of property that they grew up. His family grew up in Epping, and he kept a piece of the land from the farm when everybody else left, and he built this little teeny 1-bedroom home. And when he got to a certain age, I know he was not having to pay taxes anymore.
Is that so? Maybe that's that 80 year, because this gentleman was 76. Do you think it was because?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. All right.
It could be because he turned 80. I thought it was a little earlier than 80, but I can't swear to it. And I was really impressed with that. I was surprised that was even alive.
That's kind of sad. Like by the time you're 80, my God, I mean, really, a 76-year-old person or a 7. First of all, why is the property tax going up? Let's always take a step back and just question the insanity. Let's not accept the status quo as a given. Let's just say, why are we facing this kind of crisis? Why is a 76-year-old person now having to drive Ubers to survive?
Yeah.
Right? And so why is the town feeling the pinch? Because of the state government. Why is the state government feeling the pinch? Because of the federal government. Well, my federal taxes have not gone down, so why is this happening? Well, because like we said, federal government, I mean, talk about fraud, waste, and abuse. That was not at the Department of Education. The biggest one, from my perspective, is the Department of Defense.
Oh gosh. Well, now I would say it's Department of Homeland Security with ICE. They have a bigger budget than like many militaries all put together.
Yes. That's another fraud, waste, and abuse going on. Absolutely. Cruelty, hate, fraud, waste, abuse. Yes, let's put all of that in there.
Another camel hitting us right in the face. Yes. Yep. I hear you. Well, thank you, Susu. Did you have another question?
No, can you knock me down so I don't have to play with it?
Of course. While you're in your Uber.
Well, transporting. Do check out my website, KarishmaForSenate.com, and I would love to hear from you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I have donated.
I just want to say to all of the women that are listening in the chat right now that you have to be asked 7 times before you actually run for something. So we are going to ask you, Susu, 7 times to run for something. Okay?
I got to get through a knee replacement first.
That's fair. We'll wait for the others. We'll wait for the other 5, but just know that it's coming, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess.
Bye. Yes, we need more women running for stuff. And it's funny because you don't have to ask a man 7 times to run for something. But you have to ask a woman 7 times. You have to encourage a woman 7 times to get her to run for something. But a man is just like, okay, I'll do it. Like it's kind of crazy. So, yeah, right. We beg him 7 times not to. So Bridget had a really good question. Let me see if I can scroll up to find it. If you were already a senator, what would you be doing about Venezuela right now?
Yeah. So what is going on? Every day
it's a really good question. I don't know.
Every single day it's a new story why Trump is attacking. Okay, first it was drugs. It was fentanyl. Then we were like, we're not buying that one. Then it was like, oh, well, he has an arrest warrant. Okay. No, wait, it's about because he's causing humanitarian violations. Okay. No, it's because 2024, the legitimate elections were negated by Maduro. Okay. So which one? I mean, those are all, first of all, the drug was not true, but all right, that is true. Maduro is an authoritarian. He has violated human rights. Yes, there's an arrest warrant out for him or an indictment. And then it was like, what, wait, no, it's actually, no, forget all that. It's actually about the oil.
Yeah.
Give it to Trump. He's not even sugarcoating it anymore. He lies and lies and lies. And then finally he's like, you know what? It's oil. It's because of Chevron. Chevron just gave me a lot of money and I have to do this for Chevron. I have to use the US military to help a private company because they feel upset that they have lost money because Maduro decided to nationalize the oil industry. Wow, it's just crazy. And also, if it really is about removing an authoritarian figure that's violating human rights and has a arrest warrant out for him, I would say go for Netanyahu first. Let's arrest Netanyahu. I mean, he comes in and into the country and goes out of the country. If you want to start somewhere, if you want to do good for humanity, start with arresting Benjamin Netanyahu and sending him to The Hague to stand trial. Anyway, so that's my thing. Yeah.
But you would be voting to stop him, to stop him, yeah. Right? Like, if it's okay for dictators to come into other countries and arrest dictators, can somebody please do that here?
I swear, just somebody said that. It was really funny. It was kind of such black humor, dark comedy. But somebody said, Venezuela, thank you. You know, you're welcome. What we did for you guys, can you now come in and help us out? Yes.
Yeah,
it's a situation, and it's not stopping. I mean, he's a thug, right? Donald Trump is a thug, and he's surrounded himself with other thugs like Stephen Miller. Now he's threatening Mexico and Canada and Greenland, a Panama Canal. I mean, what is going on? Like, this is like imperialism and steroids right now. I don't know. Hopefully someone, at least 5 Republican senators look like they might have a little sense, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it sounds very mustachy. I don't know. It sounds very mustachy to me. So, yeah, we're just, and what do we do? So here's my next question for you. And with everything that is, I mean, I feel like this week has been 30 years long. I feel like I aged so much this week with what is happening in Venezuela, with what is happening with the ice cream brigade, with what is happening with the files, right?
Oh, yeah.
We can't forget about the files. It's like we almost forgot about files.
No, because he wants us to forget about the files. God, how many people have died just because they want to cover up the files?
Exactly. So,
of course, the murder of Renee Good.
Yes. So your job as a politician, and I don't envy you at all, by the way, don't envy you at all. Because you have to, as a voter, we have the luxury most of the time of being able to choose the things that we are passionate about. We can choose to be all in on healthcare. We can choose to be all in on equal pay. We can choose to be all in on women's rights and, criminal justice reform and all those things. But you are a politician and you have to be in all the buckets all the time, right? And have an answer for everything. So with everything that has happened this week especially, and people are just like their heads are on a swivel, how do we keep people inspired to act when there is so much fatigue and exhaustion? I mean, that's the point, right? They want to tire us out. They want us to be so tired that we don't fight back. So what do you tell your voters to keep them inspired and to take it one step further, not to just show up at the voting booth and consider your civic duty done? How do you inspire people to do more than that?
First of all, like you said, the whole idea is just to exhaust us. And this was what Donald Trump did also in his first term, right? The riots and the cases and the et cetera, and the wrecking ball to all the other federal services. And now he's on steroids. So, yes. So first of all, I want us to not allow him to control the narrative. I know it's really, really difficult, but I don't want us to allow him to take over the headline of the day.
Yeah.
And he does it, right? He just takes over. Like, he controls what we are going to think about that day. We have to be much stronger than that. I know it's easier said than done. The other thing is we need to understand that he wants us to hate each other and he wants us to fear each other. Because by doing that, he will make sure that we are divided. It's not just Donald Trump. This is actually just a typical playbook of the authoritarian regimes.
Yeah.
I think it just comes naturally to him. He doesn't even have to think about it. That's who he is. We can't allow it, because if we start to divide, and he wins, right? So we have to stay together. Yesterday, because of this potential detention center, ICE detention center in a small town here, we had a gathering. And the gathering was planned because of this Washington Post news that there might be an ICE detention center being planned in that town. But of course, the day before, Renee Good was murdered. So there was another reason for people to come together. So I think they counted maybe 1,000 folks showed up in this tiny town.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, there was just so much kindness and compassion and humanity. And it was just, yes, it was terrible to be there. It was heartbreaking to see everyone had a little badge on and said Renee Good. And it was just so sad that we had to do it. And a lot of folks were holding signs honoring her. So it was heartbreaking. But at the same time, it was heartwarming. It was just a very confusing moment, but you felt the compassion and the kindness. And you're like, this is what humanity is. This is what we have to care for and hold dear and treasure. Because if we stop caring about a human being who just got murdered, and we get into a debate, well, is she at fault? Is she not at fault? Like, are J.D. Vance or anyone allowed to talk like that? A human being died. A human being, a mother of 3 children, was just murdered. She lost her life. Why can't we just, for a moment, just stop and say, we lost a life here unnecessarily, and 3 children just lost their mother. And if we don't talk like that, if we don't think like that, then we've lost our humanity.
I think
if we can't think like another person. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think that is the point. I think that they don't want this regime doesn't want their base to think of us as human. I think that is the point, that they want to dehumanize us.
Yes. Partially, but like, look, Charlie Kirk, when he was murdered, and again, horrific murder. But do you remember the narrative? Again, he was controlling the narrative. Now we all had to start to openly show our emotions. Otherwise, people lost their jobs. The First Amendment rights were out of the door. If anyone criticized it or said anything against Charlie Kirk, people were being doxxed. Again, it was a horrific murder. Nobody should be talking about negatively about anyone when they die. But there's this, like, look at the difference. Flags were, I think, wasn't flags at half-mast?
Yes.
Charlie Kirk?
Flags were flown at half-staff. There was a moment of silence.
And then there was a resolution, right, to honor Charlie Kirk. And then Renee Good dies. So wait, now we're deciding which life to mourn and which life to criticize and also trash. I mean, the way J.D. Vance talked about Renee Good, calling her that woman. I mean, like, where do you get that? Who are you? I mean, you're supposed to be the vice president of the United States. Show some decency, some decorum for your position. So anyways, but I guess that's too much to ask for. But okay, going back to your question, I was very, it was really important even for me to be in that crowd yesterday, just to see how many other people cared. And I needed to hear this and I wanted to see this because here's JD Vance and, Bondi and Donald Trump in your head with all their madness and criticism. And then you saw, no, this is what we have to be. We just have to mourn a human life, the loss of human life. And so, what else how can I inspire people? Don't let him control the narrative. Don't let Trump control the narrative. Don't let him make us hate each other. Don't let him make us become violent against each other. I don't want our protests to become unruly or violent. We should not attack anyone. We should be there to help and form communities. And of course, and I hope it leads to political activism, and I hope it leads to a blue wave in the midterm, but not just any blue wave, because some of those blues are really not better than those reds. We need to push them all out, and we need to put really good people in Congress and in other positions, whatever elections are happening in 2026, that are not bought or sold by big money. So.
I mean, the other thing that people need to understand too, and I think that most people do, is that, if we do have this giant, wave that comes in and we get all of our grassroots candidates. If we succeed and we get all of our grassroots candidates elected, these people are going to be teachers and doctors and first responders, and they are working for the people. They don't take office until January of 2027. So from now until a year from now, I'm like, I don't know.
It's exhausting.
It really is, but I mean, aside
I don't even know. I don't want to even. I know it is so hard because the way he's. But then now NATO is, of course, threatening the United States, right? Like, we'll take over all the military bases. Like, what is going on? I mean, this is crazy. Anyways, I don't know what to say, Jess, but hang in there, guys. I guess I'm going to just hang in there.
So what I like to tell people is that you sit in where you fit in, right? Not everybody is going to be able to go out on the streets and hold signs and yell and scream. Not everybody is going to be able to go volunteer their time to work in Karishma's election office and answer phones. Not everybody is going to be able to, but you find what you can do. Right. Yeah. And you do. And even if it's just something small, even if it's just calling your representatives every single day and signing up to phone bank, or doing text banking, or talking to your neighbors about who they're going to vote for and, how you can help them, and getting out of your silo and being a part of a community. That's the best way to fight fascism. And if you have to take a step back because the camel is too fucking heavy and it hurts, and our hearts are broken, and there's just one thing after another. If you have to take a step back and mourn and breathe and cry and compile your thoughts and come back tomorrow stronger, then do that, because we need every single one of you. Yeah. That's what I know. Crying is my favorite thing to do these days. It's just like total waste to make up. I'm just saying. So, I had a question from the chat. I think it's Bridget that wanted to know what you would do about Palestine.
So, Bridget, I am running a no bullshit campaign. So if you have any questions, the best place to find out about my priorities are on my website. It's called Our Priorities. And I actually have written op-eds about what was going on in Palestine over the last 2 years, even before I declared candidacy. This was like in 2024. So all my thoughts are out in the open, black and white, printed, published. And and I also compiled all my op-eds because these sometimes there's subscriptions that are required. So I put it on a Substack. I don't remember. I think it's called Beck Citizens Substack. I haven't opened it in a while. Anyways, Nelson Mandela said it best. We will all be free. I'm going to paraphrase him, so don't quote me on this. We will all be free when Palestine is free. Because the same dark forces that are keeping the Palestinians in this horrific situation for decades and now facing genocide are the same dark forces that are keeping us poor here in the United States. It's war profiteering. It's literally war profiteering. So Nelson Mandela, you knew what you were talking about. We will all be free when Palestine's free. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's happening over there is crazy. But it's really hard. It's really hard as an American to even focus on that because we're so buried in the shit here. Like we are so. It's not even neck deep anymore. It's like right up, and there's no getting out of it. And I really feel
keep your eyes on Palestine, keep your eyes on Epstein file, and keep your eyes on how much money Donald Trump is making on a daily basis from his position. Because they want us to forget about all of those.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And of course, the list is a little longer than that. But okay, just focus on those three.
Oh, the list is so long. So I understood, and this is I have
reduce
not
the budget to the military. Yes, absolutely. Yes. 100%. Fraud, waste, and abuse, right there. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like I just lost my train of thought. Karishma, if elected, will you join Democrats in removing Trump from office for abuse of power? Do you think that he's going to last that long? So I did hear that the whole Venezuela thing, and it was very concerning to me. I believe Aaron Parnas reported on it that he wants to have all of the money that is coming from the oil in Venezuela to go to these offshore accounts that he has sole control over.
Don't exhaust me, Jess.
I know. So, that's not concerning at all, right, guys? That's there's no better tiny hands for that money to go into. So
this thug is like, basically we've turned into a mafia, a cartel, and he's the Don, and the U.S. military are being treated like his private security force.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go beat up other people and take their money. Okay, so that's what we have become. Got it.
Yeah.
Let's fight this. We need a revolution.
We really do. I feel like the whole male-run capitalism thing is kind of tired, right? Like, spoiler alert, it's not working for everybody, and we really need to come together to do stuff about it. And I'm not at all saying that men are bad. That's not what I'm saying. Because there are so many passionate, wonderful, amazing men who are running for office who are not taking APAC money. They are working for they're working class people who know how much a gallon of milk costs, with families and passions and things that they care about on top of a country that works for all of us. So we have a huge list of people on our Discord that if you need to go find out who to support, Karishma is on there. She is an amazing candidate, along with so many others who are incredibly passionate. And yeah, I think we have to support each other at this. We have to build a community. That's the only way we're going to get through, fascism. So that's, kind of crummy. So, okay, I'm going to switch gears for a second because I want to bring up, there's a woman, a New Hampshire local to you that I would like to bring into the chat. And I spoke to her a little bit earlier today. And she is amazing. She is inspiring. She is wonderful, and she is an activist. And I want to bring her up so she can talk to us about her story, what her camel was that broke her back to get her involved, and what how you guys as activist and candidate can work together to make a better New Hampshire. So hello, my friend.
Hello, what an intro. I don't even know where to start.
Okay, well let's start with this. What was the camel that broke your back that inspired you to get involved in making things better for your community?
I am maybe going to disappoint you with this answer, maybe going to inspire you. I guess I'll start first since this was a funny thing earlier. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sinahan. I like to joke that it's like the wrestler John Cena and Han Solo. Squish those together. That's me. So the answer to that is that this isn't my first rodeo. So I don't know that I've had my back broken yet. I've been volunteering since I was a kid. It's just the way that I was raised. And it started, again, when I was really young. My mom would take us once a week to the soup kitchen in our town. I grew up in Derry, and we would help hand out meals, clean up in the kitchen, things like that. She was a small business owner, went through a very nasty divorce, and I didn't know until I got into high school, but we were housing and food insecure. And I don't want to know what that woman did to keep a roof over our heads, to be very fair. But yeah, I guess service has always been a part of my life. I worked in education for a short time. I work in technology now. Karishma, I'm in Epsom. I'm running for either school board or budget committee. There's a group of us in town that are kind of figuring out who goes where and what pieces fit. But I live in, for those of you who don't know New Hampshire very well, I live in a very rural red pocket, and it is disheartening constantly. But this is no time to give up. So again, just if I can do it, you can too. I work full time. I volunteer with the food pantry. I'm on our economic development committee. I'm a ballot clerk in town. I guess I won't be able to do that if I run for something. But I volunteer in some other aspects as well. But I'm always doing something, and my driver is it takes a village. We are all a part of this community together, and we do not survive on our own. I think I'm also an immigrant. I think what's been interesting to me mostly growing up in America is how different American culture is from my own culture, and this individualism that has been pushed, especially the past decade or so. We're all in our own little silos, and it's hurting us, and it's by design, and it is those folks at the very top that benefit from all of us being alone. So F that. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on your show here, but
you can.
Fuck that.
Yes, thank you.
We've got to work together, and that's it.
Let's have coffee, Sinahan. Let's have coffee together.
I would love to. I've talked to a bunch of our grassroots folks, our progressive candidates, and you are the one person I have not been able to engage with yet. So I would absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. My email is karishma@karishmaforsenate.com. Just drop me a line.
Will do.
I love that magic can happen on It Takes a Village, because it really does take a village, guys, and we're making some magic happen here. So this is fantastic. I love this. So,
sorry, Jess, but I lost my dad when I was quite young, and my mother also had to struggle to keep us alive. I don't even know what she did also. And being homeless sometimes doesn't mean that you're out on the street. Sometimes it means you are in someone's guest house.
You're couch surfing. Yes, that's where we were.
A week or a month. And we had that for a while. And it was heartbreaking to think what my mother must have gone through to provide for that. There were, but it switches, right? So for periods of our life, we were really struggling, and then things got better. And then again, there was another struggle in our life, etc. And yeah. And
very often it's temporary. And I think a lot of folks who haven't been in that position don't realize how fluid it can be.
yes.
And one of the things that I do that I know annoys some of my more progressive friends is I try to meet folks where they are, even if I fully disagree with them. It's been a hot topic this week, of course, with everything going on. And it always brings me back to when I was teaching Intro to Business. One of the topics we'd cover is we go back to Maslow's hierarchy. So if you aren't familiar, it's this pyramid basically of needs we have as human beings. And at the very bottom, the very foundation is we need food, shelter, like the basics to survive. And as you go up, it's like, social needs and all the way up to self-actualization, where you can be the best version of yourself and do good for others. And if you are stuck at the bottom of that pyramid and you can't find food and you can't find housing, you can't do all of the other things. So it's important to have that empathy for others, even if they're being asshats, if they're being terrible to us, because I know I deal with this, again, being in a very red, low income, low education town. I have neighbors that say some nasty things to me, and it's not because they're thinking about how much they hate me. They're thinking about how they can't pay their rent, about how they can't put food on the table. So the more we can listen and try to support those basic needs of our community members that need it most, the more we can build this village and support each other and get the ears of the folks that need to help us to drive this change. That was a lot. I get real passionate about that one.
Jess, can you fly in and have coffee with us?
I would love to. And Kayla would love that too. Yes. Yes. Kayla should meet you guys for
Say
coffee.
less.
I know, right? Say less. I mean, yeah, I'm there. So what do you guys say then? If you guys have, you both have people who are fundamentally on the opposite end of the political spectrum that you are, how do you engage with them and not want to hit them with your shoes? How do you talk to them? And I know you talked about meeting people where they are, but sometimes they're like, they don't give a shit what you have to say because you're a Democrat. The rest of it doesn't matter.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
How do you get through to them?
Sometimes you don't. And you've got to, I guess, be smart enough in the moment. The hardest part is being aware enough to know when you're not safe in a conversation. As a female, an immigrant, a person of color, sometimes it's easier for me to kind of make that assessment and pull back. But I'm also a military spouse, and there are other ways that I'm kind of able to meld into the redder parts of my community unnoticed. And when people don't realize my more progressive views, they're more willing to open up. And I like to approach it with questions. Well, why do you think that way? What about this? What about that? Not, I feel this, or you're wrong. Or as soon as you use those like real progressive buzzwords, the walls go right up. So I think the less you can talk, unless you're asking those questions, like that's going to lead to more productive conversation. But you'll know if somebody is not willing to have a productive conversation with you, and you got to leave it. There are other folks to talk to. Karishma, I don't know about you.
No, exactly. So the baseline, where is that person? If the person's already at a fighting mode and they're blocked off, they're not going to listen to you. And that's true even for us, right? For me, maybe there's for whatever reason, there might be a topic or some instance when I'm not interested in hearing other opinions. But usually when I'm going out, like the other day I was talking to someone and they said, I'm a MAGA Republican. I'm like, that's fine, let's talk. I mean, we can still talk. The two things that we agreed on was that healthcare should be available to everyone. And because he was like, yeah, that makes kind of sense. And the other was Palestine, that we should not be bombing kids overseas while kids in New Hampshire are going to school hungry. So we found two things that would actually improve the lives of people here at home and abroad. So sometimes it's just, you just have to figure out what that is.
Yeah, it's hard to find common ground.
Yeah.
But I think that more, and I used to anyways. I don't really do it anymore because I kind of find it to be pointless. Most of the people who come on to these panels and argue are not coming from a genuine place. And they are, they want you to define what a woman is and like garbage like that. I don't have any patience for it. But I do live in a very red part of Texas, and I'm constant, you can point me out in a crowd. I have a nose ring and tattoos and purple hair, and I don't look like I'm from Texas, okay? I look like I'm from California, and that is on purpose. But I don't always know how to relate to some of these people because they're so staunchly right, and I don't know what to say. But the be all end all is that we're all angry about the same things, right? So, yeah.
My beef is with Trump, not with regular folks. I'm not going to criticize people who voted for Trump. I'm not going to criticize people for where they stand political ideology. Trump is really ruining people's heads. And the things that he says, I hear them being repeated. He's the root cause of many of our problems. Him and the propaganda machine. And that's where the problems are arising from. So if someone in my town believes otherwise and believes some of these lies, I'm not blaming them for believing these lies. I'm blaming the person who created these lies. So I know I'm most probably going to get a lot of hate for saying that. But if somebody's in a leadership position, we should hold them, of course, to a higher standard. They're the ones who are causing the trouble. So yesterday at this rally, there were some conservatives. They were not there as counter protesters. They were there to see what it was all about. And we talked about, there were two young men. And they said they don't agree with this protest. But as we were talking about due process and legality of these arrests, et cetera, they said, yes, they did agree. And then at the end, one of the young men, he must have been like 20, 21 years old. He said, as a Christian, I do disagree with what's going on. Right? But I did not negate their feelings. We were just talking, and that was okay. It was maybe a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just need to see each other's humanity, and that's really the most important. I think that can transcend what Donald Trump is trying to do to us. Yeah. I'll try to do it. I'm not very good.
Yes, Karishma.
Yes, queen. Hey, Dexter, thank you so much for popping up. Just so you know, Dexter is a friend of the show from across the sea in our favorite Australia over there. So, Hey, friend, how's it going?
Hey.
Hi.
So, just so you know, I am traveling. So if you hear a blinker or something, that's
you're in the Uber. You're in an Uber.
Yes. And I'm for sure doing something in a different app, so that's why I can't see chat right now.
Fabulous. Love it. Okay. Amazing.
Yes. So I unfortunately don't have any relevant questions because I have been out of the game a bit for a few months.
That's fair.
But
Dexter,
yeah,
do you know Caitlin
Yes.
Johnson? Caitlin Johnstone or Caitlin Johnston? She's a writer out of Australia. I love her.
I'm not much of a reader, so I
Or a
probably
blogger.
wouldn't know
I
her.
don't know.
Is she?
Yeah, Substacker. Blog.
Does she write novel? Oh, Substack. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm not much of a reader,
Not
so
everyone in Australia knows everyone else. So sorry.
yeah. Well, we're all paid actors, right? We're all just in Florida, and we're all paid actors, so we all see each other in the cast lounge and all that, right?
I love it. So funny. Amazing.
I don't really have a question. I have a thing to say about healthcare.
Please do. Please
And
share your perspective from across the sea is very important.
Well, we have Medicare here. It's all paid for via tax. When we buy an apple, we buy blah, blah. However, I'm actually not going to talk about Australian healthcare because there's a better version of it out there, and that's the Norwegian healthcare system. And you
Dexter's cutting out quite a bit. Are you still there, friend? I think we're losing you in your Uber.
So individuals in Norway are actually far wealthier than in America, and they're healthier and like all that. And I know they have something called universal healthcare with socialized healthcare. Universal healthcare being used for universally everyone, no matter whether you're a visitor or not. So out-of-pocket expenses are basically subsidized, no matter who you are. So, like, you could go to Norway as an American, and it will be so much less expensive for you to go to the doctor. But if you're, like, a Norwegian citizen, your healthcare expenses are actually capped. So once you spend a certain amount, which would be lower because you're a taxpayer, everything after that is free.
Wow.
and like they're healthier, they're treated better by their government, and yeah, like they're wealthier per person. Like, individual wealth is higher.
They probably have a better quality of life and a longer life expectancy, and, like, you know, all
the
of
drawback
those things.
being it's slowly sliding into the ocean.
Is it really? It's a bummer.
Have I frozen?
I can hear you.
Hello?
I don't know if you can hear us, though. Can you hear us?
Dexter,
Hello?
I wonder if Norway doesn't have any billionaires. I think that might be the case.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I wonder.
Why don't I hear anything?
I don't know. It's not because of us. He slid into the ocean. Dexter slid into the ocean.
In his Uber.
In his Uber.
Friends?
Or,
oh my God.
Eat the rich, or let's change
Hello.
that. Let's see,
I got to sound that.
Ken said eat the rich. I'll say let's stop socialism for the billionaires. Let's call it that.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that. Yeah, Dex,
Like,
I don't know if you could
once
hear.
they get over a certain amount, how about we... Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear Karishma, but she asked if Norway had any billionaires.
I'm fairly sure they do, but the gap between them is probably far smaller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think most of these Scandinavian countries don't have that extreme difference in wealth. They don't have. They have millionaires, but I don't think they have.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, wealth disparity does still exist, but the French. Like,
they do. Okay, Anthony said they do have a few billionaires. Okay, sorry. Okay, thanks, Anthony.
So,
I was doing the same thing over here, Googling. But the government is trying to change laws to make it harder for them to leave and not pay their taxes. So if you're Norwegian, you still have to pay.
Amazing.
And there's also something that that's like culturally different with the French is their wealthy people take on a role of stewardship. So quite often, when France is popping off and burning down their cities, as they are ones to do regularly, often that's led by the rich people. Because they understand their role in society of, like, yes, I am better off than most other people. I have a higher role to play, and that's to look after those that aren't as well off.
Yeah. I'll
So
tell you
yeah,
what, man.
be like the French.
Yeah, the the whole guillotine thing. Almost there. I'm not a violent revolutionary. I'll tell you what. I'm really not. But it's getting harder
No.
every day, you guys. So
Uh,
yes. Well, thank you,
how
Dexter,
many
for.
crosses? Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Thank you for coming up, my friend. We've missed you.
I have missed being.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, and we'll keep the light on for you. Okay.
Yes, I'm slowly trying to like see what's happened since I've done my little disappear and like what's current and everything. So
Oh, and you
once I
catch up
catch
today,
up
it'll
and
be.
once my
I wish you the best of luck, man, because
Yeah.
it's like a fire hose to the face, not in a good way. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, well, thank you so much for popping up. I'm going to drop you down, okay?
Thank you.
The
Bye.
user had a
Bye.
question. Jess?
Oh, yes.
What was that?
There was a question from Witty user. It was about Chris Pappas.
Yes.
I don't know if folks follow my social media, but I posted something about Pappas for the last couple of days, or at least today. Just check it out.
Good call out. Yeah. So a big fan of Chris Pappas.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say he supports some stuff that's going on
Yeah.
over there. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yikes.
But do check it out, what I posted today.
Yes. And just before you start wrapping up, I just want Karishma, can you tell us what activities you're doing for your campaign this weekend? Because I want everyone to know that can come out and help and participate.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yes.
Yes. So we are doing a soft launch because it's still quite cold and we don't want to burn out our volunteers. We're just going to start door knocking this weekend in one neighborhood of Manchester, and that's tomorrow. We don't want anyone to be, it's still quite cold. So it's just a few people. We're coming together. We would still love and everyone's help. So if you need to reach me, Karishma at karishmaforsenate.com, just drop me a line and I'll send you the information. So yeah, we'll start door knocking and hopefully we'll keep doing it every Saturday morning and keep expanding to other parts of New Hampshire and keep doing that for the next 8 months. And we're also doing phone banking starting on, we started on Tuesdays. We're also slowly starting and then we're trying out a new software and then we're going to ramp it up. But we would love for folks to help out. And Jess, you can help with phone banking all the way from Texas.
I sure can.
So across the country, just help us with phone banking, help get the news information out there because, if you want candidates who don't take money from big businesses, if you want them to succeed, then we need volunteers. That's exactly how it's going to be because we don't want that dirty money. We don't want that blood money, but we still we need to win. And how are we going to do this is because folks like you just step up and help us volunteer. And so then we'll succeed even with very little money.
Yeah, it's not about how much money you have. It's about how you use it, guys. We all know that. We all know the whole line here. We all know how we feel about big money in politics, right? Spoiler alert. It's like super gross. So can you just give us like a quick rundown of your website where people can go to actually put their money where their message is and to get involved in what you're doing aside from what's amazing stuff is happening this weekend?
Thank you so much. So yes. So again, I said this before, I am running a no bullshit campaign, but everything that I care about is on the website under our priorities. You can go to karishmaforsenate.com. That's FOR senate.com. I also post on social media, not a lot because, we are a small grassroots campaign. Mm-hmm. So, but we are on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. X is really nasty, but Actually,
I try not
maybe
to go on
good
there.
people on X will be better. Actually, yes, good people, go on X and follow me because there's mean comments. I need to suppress it.
Right.
The way we need help is, of course, across the country. Anyone who is an American citizen or a permanent resident can donate. And even if you can donate just $5, I mean, that's $5 more in our pocket. So please help us. The other is you can volunteer, and there are many ways to help us on social media, letters to the editors. You can also help us gain national traction, and you can phone bank from anywhere. Of course, if you happen to be in New Hampshire, you can also help us with door knocking. But so there are many ways for people to actually decide who's going to go to the Senate and the House.
Yeah.
And if you're not, it's not enough just to complain. We actually have to act upon it. So let's step up. There are great candidates out there this year, fantastic candidates across from one end to the other, and we really need to support them. So.
Amazing people like you, like Case, who's also in our comment section. There's so many, and our Discord is packed full of them. If you need to know who's running in your state, our Discord has got everything separated by what state you're in. There's resources there if you are in need of whatever you need. There's everything in there to feed your rebel heart. We have a movie corner. We have a recipe. Do we have a recipe? We're going to have a recipe corner. It's something I meant to set up today. We're sharing recipes on there, Karishma. All kinds of stuff to feed your rebel heart. It's really, really important that you guys stay engaged. And phone banking, I know a lot of people are really scared about phone banking, but let me tell you, it's really not that bad. When you're calling these people, you're not calling people on the other side of the aisle. You're calling people who believe in the same things that you do, and who are fighting for the same things that you are fighting for. And voter apathy is a really big deal right now. We have so many people who are just like, the whole system is broken and there's no point, right? We have to encourage those people to get back involved, because we really can't do it without them. So we're almost out of time. I just want to remind everybody that we want candidates to serve the people, not special interests. These campaigns don't run on good vibes alone, and they really need our help. So whether it's our wallet, our time, just hitting the follow button and sharing out content, every little bit helps. Clicks are free. You can do that for free from the comfort of your couch, but I would encourage you all to do more than that. It is not enough anymore to just show up to the voter's booth and consider your civic duty to be done. You got to actually get involved. If you find somebody that you're passionate about, people like Karishma, people like Case, people like Bernard in Florida, if you find these people that you're really passionate about, you got to give them every available opportunity to succeed. Yes, like Heath. Heath is amazing. I do want to give a quick shout out to the amazing content creators who showed up today to help us out. Our mods, of course, you guys are incredible. Our incredible design genie and executive producer, the Kayla, fellow New Hampshire citizen right down here. Make sure you're following all of these amazing people, because it's really important. It really does take a village. We are still a baby project. We're hustling to grow so that we can spotlight as many of these amazing grassroots candidates as possible. That means every single one of you. Next week, we have the amazing Candace DeVilliers in Alabama, and we also have a very special, it's a special twofer, guys. On Monday, it's going to be Avery Rowland running for House of Reps in Kansas, and Candace in Alabama. So if you guys want to know what's happening in the Bible Belt and in the South, that's the best way to go about it. Karishma, when is your primary?
September 2026.
Why the hell? Can I just crash out for a second? Why in the fucking hell are they making your primary like so you could have like a month and a half? Not even a month and a half. You have like 1 month.
We have our own, we're like an independent state of New Hampshire. We do everything different from the rest of the union. So there.
What in the hell?
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
How are you supposed to run against your main opposition?
Oh, I'm already going to start running against them.
Please do. Please do. You got to get a head start. I think that that's great, but crazy. Yeah, start now. Anything you guys can do to help Karishma, go buy her a cup of coffee, go buy her a yard sign. Seriously, if you live in New Hampshire, I don't know how long it takes you to drive from one side of the state to the other. Your state's not that big coming from a Texan, okay? So y'all can get together and make some magic happen. We want to see Karishma in the halls of the Senate causing some trouble and flipping over tables, okay? Also, check your voter registration at vote.gov and keep an eye on your election schedules in your area. It is so very important not to just vote, but to follow that vote through the process. They're going to pull every available lever, you guys. They're going to pull every single lever that they can to make sure that they stay in power. Every single one. So we have to be diligent and we have to pay attention. So that's it. And if I could make a quick plea, I would absolutely love it if you would go follow us on all of our other platforms, because we have no idea what's happening with this one. The Stack, the Tube, the Apple Podcast, the Gram, all of the places. Leave us a review over there if you feel so kind. It helps us get more eyes on our content and more ears on these incredible people who are running for Congress. Karishma, you have so much of my heart. Thank you so much for being brave enough to stand up and run. I can't tell you how inspiring it is to talk to regular people all of the time who had the passion and the guts and the courage to stand up and say, not only what is happening right now is so far beyond wrong, and that I can help be the change that I want to see, but it means so much for the next generation too. That we're not lost and we're doing this for our kids. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I want to see you back, okay, when you're closer to your primary, so we can talk about what has changed, what's working, what's not, how else we can support you in this amazing endeavor, because we are in a bad place, y'all. And we all got to stick together. So get out of your silos, start building your villages. And if you want to join the Discord, message the It Takes a Village account, and we will make sure that you get in there. So, okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to add for your campaign tonight, Karishma?
No, but I think I do need a crash course in TikTok before the next time. Come on.
No worries.
I still don't know what all these buttons are. Buttons on the screen.
There might not be a TikTok next time you come on. It might be a completely different app. So we'll get you.
Okay,
we'll get
so don't bother learning these buttons.
We'll get you squared away. Don't worry about it. We will absolutely give you a hand. Yeah, Marissa can help. It'd be great. We'll get you squared away. No worries. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. Thank you everyone for listening. I truly appreciate it. And again, like Jess said, let's just work together. Let's be the change that we're looking for.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We will see you all on Monday for another amazing adventure. And hopefully the world doesn't burn down before then. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Go get yourself a beverage. Bye.
It takes a village.